Hello, everybody. Excuse me.
Okay, there we go. Sorry, guys. Excuse the technical difficulties. This is my first time doing an episode at my new house. I just moved in and I actually didn't realize, I didn't know where I was going to set up here in the house. So thank you guys for joining me for another episode of Yecca, where we cover culture, conspiracies, carnivore, and Christ consciousness. Yeah, like I said, this is set up in my new house, so we'll see. I moved the internet over here. Hopefully everything works out all right. I actually don't really have any kind of preparation whatsoever for the show. I was going to talk about something, but like I said, I don't have any preparation whatsoever. So I think maybe today I'll just talk a little bit about, I literally don't even know, no, you guys. I can just give you guys a little, I'll start off just giving y'all a little bit of a life update. Like I said, I moved into a new house. I recently bought the acre that I have been living on in a tiny house, and it has two tiny houses on the lot, actually. So I just moved into the bigger one. It's a container home, really exciting. You would be so surprised how much more spacious moving in from an 8x24 to an 8x40 house. It makes such a big difference, you know, and that also, you know, I guess you could say, like, minimizing and reducing the items that I have, like the things that I have over the years, has also been a part of my health journey. And so I love moving. One of my favorite parts about moving to a new place is getting rid of stuff. And so, like, I absolutely love just like throwing away stuff that I haven't seen or is attached to a certain person that, you know, is no longer in my life, or, you know, certain memories that, you know, I have no business having, keep it holding on to those memories. And just getting rid of stuff like that, I think, is very important. I feel like a lot of people hold on to things because of the memory that it's tied to, or because of the person who gave it to them. But in reality, they've held on to that item like their whole life. It literally is just sitting there collecting dust in their closet or in a box, or, you know, in storage. And I think it can be unhealthy to hold on to things like that. The way that I look at it is, you know, all those things are replaceable. They really are. And like, they really are just that. They're just things. Yes, they might have memories tied to them, and things like that, but holding on to it, like, you know, a good example is like holding on to things from a relative that you lost, and, you know, they're no longer with you anymore. And obviously that is something sad, and you do want to hold on to things that remind you of them. But holding on to every single one of their items, it's not really like the healthiest thing to do. It's an easy way to become a hoarder. I had hoarders in my family, and I grew up learning to not hoard. And I think that's why the tiny house lifestyle, I've always been intrigued by it. And this is not like my first time living in a tiny home either. And I love the simplicity of it. you really learn how little you really need in life to be happy, and you learn to value the importance of the things that you do have. Another thing that I've learned also in regards to just like the items that I have is instead of just like mindlessly shopping, which I do love shopping, and sometimes I can get a little carried away, but not like and the standard American person. But I over the years I've learned to focus where my money is going. Like I love voting with my dollars. And over the years, I've also learned to put my money into more quality products. And so, like one thing I've changed over the past couple years is the clothes that I wear. So I get rid of my clothes all the time. One, like I'm over the past like decade, basically my whole life, actually, I've changed like fashion designs, so many different kinds. In in middle school, I dressed like goth, all black, baggy clothes. In high school, I had like a little punk phase, and then I would wear like punk rock, like plaid skirts and things with like grommets and boots and Hot Topic this and that, and then as I in my early 20s, I like wore bright colors and just like comfortable clothes, and I love neon things, and just like really weird kind of like obscure clothes. And now I dress a lot more feminine. I love to wear dresses and skirts and jewelry and things like that. So over the years, my fashion has changed, and so I do change my wardrobe not often, but I do change it over time. And I've switched over to natural cloths, and because I learned about the frequency in cloths, and this is something that I kind of want to do. Maybe I'll do like a little mini-sode about it. But the frequency in different fabrics is different. Like all the different fabrics have different frequencies. And hospital beds used to be lined with linen sheets. And that's because linen is actually very healing. It has a super high frequency, and so it's very healing. It's actually healing for the body, and so is organic cotton. I think it's like I think organic cotton is at 100 hertz. I believe linen is at 5,000. Don't quote me on that because I didn't look it up. Let me see if maybe I can find it here while I see if I can multitask. So organic cotton resonates at 100 hertz. I think I read somewhere else that non-organic is like around 80 or less. Linen and pure wool both resonate at 5,000 hertz. So that is insane. But you can't mix linen and wool because then they'll cancel each other out and it will be zero. So another cool thing that is tied to that scientific fact that has been proven, that's in the Bible. The Bible tells you not to mix linen and wool, which I think it's so cool when people like have discoveries like this, and it's like it's already in the Bible. And I think that is so fun to come across things like that. But when I came across that, that was just something else that like made me really want to switch to all natural clothing, and it is so expensive. So you just start off small. You can start with underwear, socks, things like that, and then maybe like tank tops, and maybe you can get a shirt here and there. Sometimes you can find them at the thrift stores, especially if you live in like a I don't know, whatever, like a bigger city, like in Austin. Or I'm sure somewhere in California or something, thrift stores over there, you can find organic clothes. I actually have a dress that I still own that I just realized I probably need to get rid of. But it's organic cotton, and I got it at a thrift store. And so you can find things like that. And there's also like online thrift stores like ThreadUp, and I don't know, there's some other ones out there. So you can look on there for gently used organic cotton clothes and linen clothes. Linen clothes, I have kind of like a big thing with linen clothes. It is so hard to find cute and comfortable and affordable linen clothes. I know linen has like zero stretch, but it's like, I don't know, I kind of have a conspiracy that they just like don't make linen clothes easily accessible anymore because it's so good for us, and it's like literally has healing properties just from wearing it alone. And so I'm thinking that's why it's so hard to get linen clothes. But yeah, linen, I have a few linen pieces that I absolutely love. Like if you've never worn linen, which I don't think I had ever worn linen up until I started changing my wardrobe. I love linen. It's like good for the summer and the winter. I have these like loose linen pants. They're so comfortable, so cute. It kind of looks like a skirt. But I can wear those in the summer, and it's just like so breezy and so comfortable, and I love them. But yeah, like I said, it's really hard to find good linen clothes that are comfortable and cute. I have been really debating on starting a clothes line eventually. Maybe it'll be like in the far future, but I used to want to design my own clothes in high school, and I used to actually have like a book where I would draw all my clothing designs out, and I still remember some of those designs, and when I look back at it, I laugh because they were all like kind of like it was like a mixture of like punk rock and gothic and like medieval kind of style clothing and dresses and things like that. I obviously wouldn't make those kinds of clothes nowadays, but it's really fun. I think it's really fun designing clothes, and it's just not there's not a lot of good options out there for linen and wool too. You would be surprised like how hard it is to find 100% wool clothes now. It's always blended with polyester. Polyester is literally like plastic. You're wearing plastic, and let me see if I can find the uh, hertz of polyester. Polyester is around 10 megahertz. So yeah, really low, and literally can make you sick just from wearing polyester. So I have slowly been just getting rid of all the stuff with polyester in it. And it's one thing that's really hard with the clothes is gym clothes. It's really hard to find cute, comfortable gym clothes that are 100% cotton or anything like that. I try to stick with cotton, linen, and wool. Sometimes I'll buy something else with like rayon but I really try not to. I think I only have like one or two things mixed with rayon, but it's even like it's linen with rayon. So I don't know. Honestly, when I've tried to research the megahertz on all the different cloths, there's not much information on other cloths. So I'm super interested in seeing like what different hertz, different combinations of different cloths do. Because there's so many different things out there. And nowadays, you'll see clothes made out of bamboo and things like that. And so I'd be really interested in seeing what that looks like. One thing I did find out that I thought was interesting was in regards to silk. So silk, I think, you would think silk is good. It has a higher vibration, but um, I think it was like, yeah, it's the same as polyester. So silk has a frequency of just 10 megahertz, which it says here that it could be due to processing methods, which involves chemicals. But it's so crazy because silk is so highly touted, and people say, like, oh, you get a silk pillowcase for your hair, and I did that, and um, the silk pillowcase, it doesn't really do much difference, but one pillowcase was like $40, and I just thought that was insane. But yeah, and so like now finding out about the frequency of it, I don't really want to use it anymore. Now I want to switch to linen sheets, and because that's like really, we spend several hours in our bed every single day. Why do you want to be breathing in microplastics? Why do you want to be breathing all these like unknown fibers that they may or may not be causing us harm or cancer or other kind of illnesses? I think a good way to take care of your health is to invest in higher quality products like linen sheets and things like that, and higher quality clothes, higher quality food. You really don't need much to be happy, you guys. If you have God and the Holy Spirit in your heart, literally everything can be taken away from you and you would still be okay. And you would still know, that God is taking care of you and always is going to provide with everything that you need. And so God gave us the gift of free will, and we have the ability to choose to feed ourselves and nurture ourselves and surround ourselves with garbage or high quality products. And yeah, obviously, higher quality products are going to cost more, but especially like in regards to food, one thing that I always like say when people say, "Oh, the healthy food's so expensive," "Oh, it's like I can't afford it," and it's like, well, how can you not afford a little bit more expensive food, but you're going to be able to afford these hospital bills later down the line? How are you going to be able to afford, paying for all these pills, hospital visits, all kinds of prescriptions and things like that? Like that, it's going to cost you in the long run. And the way that I've seen it in regards to investing in more higher quality products is that it's just, yeah, it's all replaceable stuff, and it's okay if it all gets taken away from me. But the fact that I do have it, it really, it really reminds me how blessed I am to be able to attain these things that let me live a more comfortable and colorful life. And so, looking at it that way, I think it's just really beneficial. And investing in yourself, I think is really important. A lot of people like to neglect themselves, myself included. I'm just, when I say a lot of these things to you guys, I'm talking to myself. And so don't think I'm directing anything specifically to you, because I'm not, okay? I'm just kidding. I think it's so good to put more effort into the things that you have into your life, and try to give yourself the best possible life that you can, because why not? Like, do you want to live in poverty? Do you want to live eating garbage and processed foods, and end up filling yourself up with microplastics, and passing illnesses and diseases to your children and their children and their children and their children? Do you really want to pass that down on to the generations after you? That's the way that I look at it. And I don't even have a family or anything, so but I'm just preparing for my future if that does happen. I want to be able to have my life set up where I'm living a comfortable life, so it's easy to give someone else a comfortable life. And yeah, so I really wish that that was more than 18 minutes, you guys, because that was just me rambling on. And but yeah, the clothes and getting rid of, like, even like um books. I feel like books can hold on to a lot of energy when you're moving. And it's that's something that I recently had to do. Actually, I had to get rid of a book from a previous relationship. And I guess I can just share that with you guys, because the more prayer warriors I can have in regards to this situation, the better. Because I am literally in a spiritual battle right now. And so I recently was contacted by an ex from I think, like, I broke up with him 7 years ago, but he was kind of into the dark arts and stuff, and just things like that. It's weird because he believed in God, but anyways, I thought, I never talked to him or anything over the years. We weren't friends on Facebook or anything, and so long story short, he has been trying to connect with me spiritually and telepathically, and all kinds of weird stuff. And I had my suspicions the past couple years that that was happening, which is, it's so weird when God sends you messages and dreams and lets you see things and know things that you don't know. How else am I going to know that? And then it gets thrown in your face that yeah, that was true. Yeah, that's what that was. Here it is. And so yeah, I think he might have just fallen in with the wrong people. And I have been, like I said, under spiritual attack. And so I'm in the process of breaking the soul tie. So if you guys can include me in your prayers to help me break that soul tie, because it has been rough for sure. And I'm kind of on autopilot today because of it. It's, spiritual warfare is a real thing. And, you can do all these things to be physically healthy. You can do all these things to live a wonderful, beautiful life. You can do, all these things to have wonderful people in your life. You think nobody hates you or anything like that. Nobody's mad at you. You're not making anybody mad or anything like that. And, you can think everything's going good, but the devil is out to get you in the unseen world. And that is really where we need to be putting more of our focus on, because, the horrible things happening in the world, the horrible things they do to kids, the robberies, the murders, all these things that we are obviously happening that are horrible, and that, we need to do something to stop or minimize it or whatever. Like, yes, like that, those are battles that need to be fought too. But the battles that I think is overlooked more often than it should be is the spiritual battle, because that is where we're lacking. And I think, a lot of people overlook it because we can't see it. But if you look closely, you can see it. You can see it. It's actually right in front of our eyes, and it's happening all over. And I think being aware of the spiritual battles is just the first step into being able to fight back and stand up against evil. But yeah, definitely, if you guys can keep me in your prayers in regards to spiritual warfare. It's so crazy because I'm not scared. I know everything's going to be okay. I know God is taking care of me. I know I'm going to be protected. Like, I'm not going to be physically harmed or anything like that. Uh, but that doesn't make it just go away. That doesn't make the constant nighttime waking up between 3 and 4 a.m. for over a week now. That doesn't make that go away, and a lot of people call that the witching hour, and so I call it the praying hour. If I wake up at that time in the middle of the night, immediately pray, 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 pray. I'm praying until I fall asleep. And if I can't fall asleep, I pray again. And then I'm just, sometimes I'm just up for the rest of the day. And, and there's nothing, obviously it takes a toll on you physically. But there is absolutely nothing wrong with starting your day off with 1 to 2 hours of prayer, especially when you are in a spiritual war. So that has been so crazy. I never thought that I was going to be involved with that person ever again. And then, like I said, the past year or two, I had my suspicions that that person was trying to do something with me spiritually and reach out to me in some other realm. And it was true. And so, you guys, you can never be too careful. We always have to be putting on the armor of God. And that's me talking to myself, because I need to be better at that. Maybe in this new house, I'll put up some signs and things that remind me. I think this house will be good to put more scripture around my house and things like that, and the fruits of the spirit, all that good stuff. Just kind of like fill this house with blessings. And when I pray and give thanks to God for blessings, and I'm sitting there truly thankful for my blessings. I ask for when I ask for blessings, I ask for blessings so I can give it to others. And and serving and giving is one of my one of the things that I love to do. And so that's why I'm on here too. You guys, like I said, I didn't have a topic that I really realized or knew that I was going to talk about. I was not prepared to come on here. I was scrambling to get my setup ready. And I didn't know where I was going to set up in this house, and the lighting is kind of weird and all this stuff. But I jumped on here because, that's where the magic happens. That's where the growth happens, when you do the things that you really don't want to do. And so, it's really an honor to be here, you guys, and I appreciate all y'all that watch my shows every Tuesday, or if I skip the show, or anything like that, and you guys, or when you tune in later, all that, I really appreciate you guys' support in every way possible. It really means a lot to me, you guys, and so it helps me be more accountable and show up for you guys, because if I show up for you guys, that means that I'm also showing up for myself, because this is something that people have asked me to do for a couple years now, and I finally jumped on it. And although it's not exactly how, I'm not doing it exactly how I wanted to do it, I'm here, I'm doing the best that I can. And, and I really appreciate you guys being here. So let's see what topic I can segue into next. Let me take a sip of my coffee here. Let me show y'all my favorite cup. If you're watching the live stream, my little utter mug. This is one of my favorite cups. It is like, thank you God for this cup. This brings me happiness every time I see this cup, and it's little things like that that I like to invest in sometimes. Call that investing in happiness. So let's see. I was going to do a cooking show. So if anybody has any recipe ideas that you guys want me to share, otherwise I will maybe I'll go through my recipe posts that I have on Instagram. One thing that I'm thinking of maybe that I can do, like the tricky thing with doing the recipe and cooking videos on here is, like, I have to make sure it's not something that takes all day and all this stuff. So one thing I'm thinking of that I can maybe do is some like carnivore-ish not egg rolls, cinnamon rolls. It's Maria Emmerich. It's kind of like a play on her recipe, and she is like the carnivore queen. She makes like the most amazing, super awesome recipes. When I saw her, I was like, oh my gosh, I love her. The first picture, I'll never forget, the first picture I saw of her, she had this meat cake, which it was so cool because I had been wanting to make something like that, and then she did it, and I was like, oh my God, it was like my dream like came true, and I didn't even have to like build it. So it was so cool to see somebody else create that. And it was like a stack, it was like a 3 or 4 tiered cake, and it was like different meats, and I think there was some like wrapped in prosciutto and all kinds of cool stuff. But yeah, and so Maria Emmerich, she had this recipe, and she has this like a egg white bread recipe, and it's like so versatile. And so I love to make cinnamon rolls with it, and so it's like pure protein cinnamon rolls. So that's what I'm thinking I might make. Maybe I'll do that next week or something for a cooking show. Those are so much fun. I know I've only done one, but those are definitely going to stay in the rotation because I know I liked it, and I feel like I got a lot of good feedback on it too. Everybody else liked it, and it was so much fun. But yeah, so it's the cinnamon rolls, and we'll see what else. But I am going to make, I guess I can make a little bit of an announcement on here. I shared something on my Instagram recently. I didn't say what it was, but I said I was going to have an announcement come out. So I will share it with you guys here first. And so this is a maybe 6 months to a year long process, but I am planning on launching my own healthy bakery services. So it's not going to be like, I'm not opening up a bakery storefront. Sorry, you can't just come on in whenever. I never want to have a food business that's a daily thing, or even like a regularly weekly thing. I've worked in food service since I was 12 years old. I have over 20 years of experience in food service. I never want to own a restaurant. I never want to own a cafe. I never want to own anything like that. The closest thing to a restaurant that I ever want to own is maybe a bed and breakfast that's only open on the weekends, or maybe not even on the weekends. Maybe like once a month. I don't know. But I don't want any running a food business really takes up your whole life. And although I absolutely love cooking and I love baking and I love serving others with food, and I always have and I always will, I don't feel like it's something like I have so many other things that I want to be doing also. And and dedicating myself to just one thing right now just doesn't seem like that's the route that I want to go. So, but I am going to open up. I'll probably call it Yummy Yeccas because I've had a food truck called Yummy Yeccas before, and I just like that name. It's just fun, and everything is going to be yummy, so it's not like a lie. So it's going to be a bakery service. I will be baking everything out of my home, but I will be offering various items like mini cupcakes, cheesecakes, maybe 2 or 3 different size cakes, like a vanilla cake, a chocolate cake, and I don't know, maybe some other special flavor or something. But I will have like carnivore-ish, and I'm still, like I said, it's 6 months to a year until I launch this bakery service. But I'm still working out the kinks of what exactly I'm going to offer, because I love baking all different kinds of stuff. And I love baking with regular sugar. I love baking with keto sugar. I love baking stuff with stevia and monk fruit only. And like I like cooking, different things with different sweeteners. And I know people out there want different, everybody has their own different style of how they eat, and not everybody's keto. And I'm not even, exactly sure. Like I'm not keto or carnivore. I just eat mostly, I try to eat 90% meat most of the time. And then I have a list of foods that I know I shouldn't eat. Do I eat them? Probably. Yeah, I do. I do eat them, not gonna lie. And I have a list of foods that, I know I can eat. And so, and then sometimes I just eat whatever, and I know I shouldn't. But I know there's people that eat regular sugar and want gluten free, and then there's people that don't want refined sugar. There's people that don't want the keto sugars. There's people that don't want this and that. So I'm working out the logistics, because there's so many different varieties that everything can be. But I'm thinking there might be just like different items in each category or something like that. Like the cupcakes will probably maybe like the cupcakes will be kind of more on the paleo side, and then I can offer like gluten-free regular sugar cakes, or something like that. I'm trying to make it to where it's not so crazy and I have a million different options. But I want to have it to where there are enough options where if somebody has a birthday coming up and they can't do almond flour, they can't do erythritol, they can't do, they don't want seed oils, they want it gluten free, you want made with real butter and all this kinds of things. So I'm going to be focusing on using real butter. I have a secret ingredient that is going to be in my frosting. It's not going to be a secret forever, but if you guys have been following me for a while, you've seen me make a frosting on my Instagram, the secret ingredient that's in there. And I'm sure you can guess it's not butter, it's not coconut oil, it's not avocado oil or anything like that. That'd be weird. And it's animal-based ingredient. But I want to popularize this in bakeries everywhere. Like I want everybody to copy me in regards to this, for the frosting, because I think it's important to have people eat more foods like this. I think it's important that people have clean alternatives. And I live in a city, I live near Austin, Texas, and Austin, Texas is like so overloaded with health food. They have so many different healthy options. We do have a few restaurants with no seed oils. There's places you can get beef tallow fries, and things like that. There's Whole Foods and natural grocers and things like that. There's so many alternative options to healthier foods in Austin, but there's still not going to be anybody that's going to be offering what I'm going to be offering. And and have it taste good. Also, like I'm not bragging or anything. But the over the years I've just had lots and lots of people thank me and compliment me and praise my desserts and all that stuff. So I know it's something that people love, and I love when people love my stuff. Like it makes me feel good. Like, and a lot of times too, I'll bake this stuff and I don't even know what it tastes like, and I've never tried it, and it's my first time making it, and I just whipped it up together and I give it to them and they love it. And that is when I know that that's what I'm supposed to be doing, is that like I didn't even taste it. That's like, you want to know one of my red flags? One of my red flags is that I will make a whole dinner or a whole dessert for a huge giant giant crowd, and I won't even taste it. And I'll just be doing what I'm doing. And then I'm sitting here serving everybody or watching everybody eat and all this stuff. And then I'm like, I have no idea what this food tastes like. And everyone's coming up to me like, oh my gosh, it's so good. And it's so funny. But yeah, that's my red flag, is that I will prepare a whole dinner for a bunch of people, or a whole dessert for a bunch of people, not taste it whatsoever, and then serve it to you. And so that is one of my red flags. So watch out. Super dangerous. But yeah, so I'm really excited. I have always liked baking. Before I went to culinary school, I actually I either wanted to become a chef or do very fancy wedding cakes, which I actually love to do wedding cakes. I recently did a wedding cake. Oh, let me see. I wonder if I can pop it up here on the screen. Let's see if I can multitask. I can't. The picture is on my phone. Immediately, no. The picture's on my phone, which I am recording on here, as you can see. And so I will post it to my Instagram when I'll just share it to my Instagram later today or tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. But I did a cheesecake for my friend, and there were 3 years in a row that I did keto Valentine's desserts. And so I had a group of people, that always ordered from me. And then I had a friend that he would always order from me, and he would get like a birthday cake for his girlfriend or whatever, and things like that. And over the years, and for his birthday. And so I saw he had recently got engaged, and he messaged on Instagram. And so then he texted me, and then I was like, hey, oh my gosh, congratulations. And then before he even said anything, I thought about it for 2 seconds, and I was like, oh my gosh, are you asking me what I think you're going to ask me? And he was like, yes. And I was like, I would love to make your wedding cake. So I got to make a cheesecake, super clean ingredients, no seed oils. They wanted regular sugar, which is totally cool. And then I made these beautiful strawberry roses that I've never made strawberry roses before. And they were so beautiful. It came out so good, but I had so much fun. And it was literally just cheesecake and strawberry roses. Like, it was so simple. And, and when you really love what you're doing, like, something so simple can just be like so amazing and so beautiful. And like every time I made I was cutting the strawberry roses, and then I'd go put it on a platter to where I was holding them. And like every time I went to put it on the platter, I'd see all the ones I had done, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're so pretty. Like every time I did that like 30 times in a row. But and it was so cool because they were organic strawberries. So it was higher quality ingredients too. And so I worked in places and restaurants and food businesses where they don't care, the quality. They don't want to use 100% high quality ingredients for every single thing, because they don't want to charge you an arm and a leg for that product. And I get it. Food is expensive. And now especially. And then people don't want to pay much when you prepare. And the thing is like, you go out to a restaurant, that person isn't just cooking your food and putting it on a plate for you. That person is also making sure that they had all those ingredients there that day. They made sure that they placed the order on time to make sure everything was there. They made sure that all the sauces were prepared, all the vegetables were cut, all the meats were marinated, all before they even cooked your meal. Like, there's so many different steps that are involved in running a food business. People think that you can just start a food business because you have a good recipe. Well, that's wrong, because there's a lot of extremely successful businesses that literally serve you garbage. So that's one thing that I'm really excited about this bakery service that I'm going to be offering, is that at least starting out, and probably for a long time, it's just going to be me. I'm not planning on hiring anybody unless they want to come and do deliveries for me or something like that. But I don't plan on hiring anybody to help me in the kitchen or baking anything. And it's going to be like on a you have to pre-order everything. I'm thinking it's probably going to be like a 1 to 2 week notice that I'm going to require, and it's not going to be cheap, obviously, but it's also not going to be something that you can just go to the store and buy anyways, because it's it's going to be something that's very special. Everything's going to be super clean ingredients. It's going to be what my friend Jessica, shout out, she when we go out to eat, or when they go out to eat and stuff, or we have like a family get together, she's like, oh, it's Yecca approved. And and I think it's so funny because, like I said, like I don't have like a specific diet that I eat or anything like that, but like there are certain foods that I think are cleaner to eat than others. And so I think it's so funny that my friends call it Yecca approved, to know that it's clean, and you can probably eat as much as you want of that. So yeah, everything will be Yecca approved over at Yummy Yeccas. And I'm really excited. It's going to be all natural, no preservatives, heavy on the butter. I'm going to use animal fats and things like that. Maybe I'll even, because there is a very special cookie recipe that I want to include on the menu as well. And that recipe does have a special ingredient. It does have Equip Foods vanilla beef protein in it. So maybe I'll reach out to Dr. Anthony Gustin and can team up with him, and maybe I can have my products have his product in there, because I love that Equip Foods beef protein. I think I have it right here, actually. Let's see if I can show you guys. Yep. So this is my favorite protein powder, you guys. I do have a link for it, and I do get paid when you guys use my link. So if you do want to try it out, please use my link. It really, really helps me out, and it means a lot to me when you guys use my link. It reminds me to keep going. And so I use this stuff. I love it mixed in with coffee. I love it mixed in with like just milk. Like I'll do like a splash of half and half and water or something, and ice. This is good. You put it in cake. It's like adding pudding to your cake. It makes it so moist and so decadent. So good. You can also make like whipped cream and mix this in there, and it makes like a yummy little dessert. But yeah, I put this in my extra special cookie recipes that I make for a friend. And this is like a secret ingredient. And I think because of this, it like holds the cookies together so well, and it makes them have like this perfect like chewiness to it that reminds you of like a regular flour, regular sugar cookie. You would never guess that there's no sugar in it. You would never guess that there's no like flour in it. It's made with a little bit of coconut flour. So there's no wheat in it, and it's so good. And so I really do want to have that cookie recipe on the menu when I launch that. But yeah, that would be really cool to get this product in there on my menu, and then I could promote them. They have a lot of other really cool stuff too. If you guys are into supplements and things like that, what is happening here? They have a really good pre-workout. So there's a couple things that are hard to find without citric acid, and that's pre-workout and electrolyte mixes. So I love their pre-workout. It's super good. I don't have it right here, but I do have an electrolyte company. I'm going to see if they have an affiliate program, but let me pull this out here. So sorry guys, there was a cat there. I found this electrolyte mix without citric acid. I can tell like it's such a big difference. Like if you guys are familiar with citric acid, they'll tell you, oh, it's normally from lemons and limes and citrus fruits and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, it is found in those foods. It is, absolutely. That's not a lie. But they're not telling you where the citric acid that you're eating comes from, because it comes from moldy corn. So even though citric acid is found in fruits, that doesn't mean that's where they got it from. They got it from moldy corn. So don't listen to those food lies, because that's what they are. And so when I consume citric acid, I can like feel it on my teeth. It's like it took away some of the enamel. It's so crazy. And so I have been looking for an electrolyte mix because I'll take salt. I'll take it like a supplement by itself, whatever. But sometimes I want to have a fun drink. I don't want to be plain and boring saltwater girl all the time. And I don't drink salt water actually. I take it I take it like a pill. Like I put it on my hand and I like take it like a pill and I wash it down with water. So that's how I take salt. But sometimes, like I said, I want a fun drink, and so I found this, and like their branding, sometimes these ads they get me, and they're reading my mind because I'm like, and sometimes I actually do it on purpose. Like I actually, you know what? I manifested these. So I had commented on another electrolyte product, and I said, "Oh, I wish there was no citric acid in here." And literally, not an hour later, this company showed up in my feed, and it was like on their ad, it was like no citric acid. I was like, what? So that's how I found this. So if you guys are looking for a product that you think isn't invented yet, comment it somewhere on social media, and maybe it will show you the thing that you want. Work smarter, not harder, guys. So it does have malic acid. So I'm not familiar with malic acid, but I will tell you, it does not feel bad on my teeth like citric acid does. So salt with 2 T's. Orange is my flavor. I got their sample pack. I didn't really like most of those flavors. I'm not like a berry kind of girl or chocolate salt kind of girl. I think that's disgusting. I like orange, so I get orange all the time. I don't like lemon lime stuff either. But yeah, orange is good, and it is super strong. I actually make like a huge cup of it, like I think like a quart or something of it for just 1 pack. And it's so good. It's if you're used to taking salt and electrolytes and things like that, to me it tastes like orange Kool-Aid. If you water it down enough, it just tastes like orange Kool-Aid. And I think it's so good. But yeah, so those are a couple products. And so yeah, that's the announcement. I'm gonna have some bakery services coming up, and cookies, mini cupcakes, cakes, and it'll be pretty basic stuff. I just want to be able to offer clean alternatives for those who don't know how to bake stuff themselves, or who never eat dessert, but it's somebody's birthday or it's their birthday, or they want to celebrate a special occasion, but they don't know where to find a gluten-free, refined sugar-free, seed oil-free cake made with real butter frosting, and all natural colors, like there, because that doesn't exist. Like the options in Austin are, I mean, you can find some paleo stuff, and then you can find keto stuff, but like I actually have a baby shower that's coming up this weekend that I am baking mini cupcakes and cake pops for. And so her request actually is a very unusual one, but I actually love baking this way. So it's regular gluten-free flour and just no refined sugar. So if you're looking for gluten-free stuff in the store with no refined sugar, good luck. You're probably going to find something that is paleo or something that is keto. And so you aren't going to find something with a regular like rice flour blend flour mix without cane sugar. All that gluten-free like rice flour and things like tapioca flour stuff, they all are made with cane sugar. All of them. They're like, oh, it's organic. Yeah, it's organic cane sugar. And so I have not the best relationship with cane sugar because cane sugar is not really that nice to me. And so we don't really have the best relationship. I have diabetes on both sides of my family. When I eat cane sugar, even just a little bit, I can tell for the next 2 days, I'm a little bit more emotional, a little bit more angry, a little bit more sad for no reason whatsoever. So I really try to stay away from the cane sugar, even just the slightest bit. And I don't have a sugar crash anymore when I eat too much sugar, which I used to, but it does affect my mental health. And so that's the reason why I try to stay away from it. Like with honey, I have a sugar crush with honey, but it doesn't affect my mental health. Like I'm not sad or mad or depressed for the next 2 days because I had too much honey. And so yeah, so these things that I'm going to be baking, they're, special ingredients. So, and she was cool with, like, I asked her, if she's okay with like tallow and things like that in the dessert. She's like, oh yeah, like that's so cool. And, and that's another reason why I'm like so excited to do this, because the people that are going to be buying from me are aware of the health benefits of all these special ingredients that I'm going to be using. And they are going to be aware of, how different and special these desserts I'm going to be offering are. And, and so it's going to be like, I'm not baking desserts just for anybody. I'm baking desserts for people who want something special, something different, something super high quality, something you can't find anywhere else, and that tastes delicious. Like I said, I've been in service industry since I was 12 years old, but I've been cooking since I was 8 years old. Like, I literally have been making up my own recipes since I was 8 years old. I remember the first recipe that I ever made was some fried chicken tenders, but instead of breading them with like flour or breadcrumbs and things like that, I got Ritz crackers and Cheetos, and I smashed them up into a flour, and I like seasoned them up real good. And then I fried those up in the pan, I'm sure with delicious vegetable oil or something like that. And I probably made macaroni and cheese with it. I grew up with a bunch of nieces and nephews, and they never let anybody else make the macaroni and cheese once I made it, because I would put like 3 to 4 extra slices of American cheese in there, a whole bunch of butter. Actually, we didn't eat butter. We had, I think maybe sometimes we had butter, but most of the time I had the country crock. So country crock of seed oils, that's what it is, and probably tap water. But yeah, lots of that stuff, lots of American cheese, really loaded up the macaroni. So, I've been making recipes since I was really young, and I love creating stuff. And so I'm really excited to get Yummy Yeccas started, hopefully within the next year, and launch that. So it'll be, and then hopefully, if it does good, then it's something that I can eventually ship. I'm really not big on shipping frozen things, and that's how it's gonna probably have to be. But I'm, and that will be some time, you guys. So don't get all excited, because if you try to rush me, I'm probably not gonna do it. Because I'm not good. I'm not good at that. If you don't want me to do something really bad, I'm probably gonna do it. So I am excited to get that launched. But yeah, it would take some time for me to get it shipped out, because I would have to test the shelf life of each product, do some test runs, shipping it out to people, and seeing how it arrives and all that stuff. So like I said, 6 months to a year, and I'll have that launched. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, I'll share some pictures of that cheesecake that I made, and we'll also, when I get these cupcakes finished up for this weekend too, I'll start putting together some pictures of the products that I'll be offering. So I'm really excited to get that going, you guys. I want to thank y'all so much again for coming on here and joining me for another episode of Yeah Yecca. It really means a lot when you guys come on here and join me, especially when you guys jump on the comments. Let me see if there's anything on Facebook here. But yeah, join me next week. I may or may not do the cooking show next week. We'll see how it goes. Also I'll have some more guests coming on, and some really cool topics to be talking about on here. Big shout out to my sponsor, Wise Wolf Gold and Silver. So I have been working with them for a little while now. So much fun. I love working over there and putting together the wolf packs and helping people secure their financial future with gold and silver. If you are watching my show, you probably are aware of the state of the dollar. So be sure to check out Yecca.gold is my link, and you can get gold and silver delivered to your door on a monthly basis. But there's also a one-time purchase option. So if you want to just check it out and see what it's all about, just go to Yecca.gold and try the one-time purchase. So thank you again, guys, so much for joining me. I'll see you guys next